Landmark 3. The Royal Monument of King Naresuan the Great, Thung Phu Khao. Not far from Thung Phu Khao, which is the location of the monument of Somdet Phra Adulyadej, is the battlefield of Ayutthaya and Hong Sawadi, where King Naresuan the Great fought bravely until victory over the Hong Sawadi troop in the year 2129 BE. When King Nantabureng, the son of King Bureng Nong, led the army to surround Ayutthaya, this place known today as Thung Phu Khao. Thung Phu Khao, the place where the local people's Sakawa songs were played during the flooding season, is also a place of war to protect the capital of important heroic kings in the past. The name of Thung Phu Khao is assumed to be the name after the names of important temples in the area. Wat Thung Phu Khao was built by King Naresuan, son of King Ramatipudi I, the first monarch of Ayutthaya. This Wat Phu Khao Thong area, in the past, there was an important canal dug during the Battle of Hong Sawadi. At the same time, we lost Somdet Phra Adulyadej. When Somdet Phra Mahachakapat heard the news of the battle, he therefore ordered the people to migrate into the city, then sent a royal decree to Pisanulok that when the Hong Sawadi battle came closer to the capital, so Somdet Phra Mahathamaraja moved the troop from the northern to press on the two sides, then told Praya Chakri to set up camp at Lumpli. Mahanak, who was ordained at Wat Phu Khao, volunteered to set up camp for the navy from Wat Phu Khao down to Wat Pa Plu. Mahanak's relatives worked together to dig a trench outside the naval base camp. Therefore, it became the Mahanak Canal, Wat Phu Khao. This canal therefore had been used both as a roaming place for villagers and as a place to play Sakawa songs during floods. His Majesty King Puttayat ordered a canal to be dug in Bangkok by imitating the Mahanak Canal of Ayutthaya and using the same name in Ratanakosin. This majestic Phu Khao Thong pagoda, that can be seen from a distance, occurred after the loss of Ayutthaya the first time in the Battle of King Hong Sawadi Bureng Nong. In 2112 BE, King Hong Sawadi Bureng Nong successfully moved the troops to attack Ayutthaya. Therefore, a large Jedi in Raman style was built as a memorial. Later, in the reign of Somdet Phra Boromakot, this pagoda has been restored and changed the image from a Mon Jedi to a 12-wooden recessed Jedi. Therefore, we see a Thai-style Jedi with a Raman base appearing at this Thung Phu Khao field. Apart from the damage from the loss of Ayutthaya, this field also gave birth to the heroic deeds of the great king of Thailand that is respected by the Thai people from the past to the present. This is the great pride of this Thung Phu Khao field. In the year 2129 BE, it coincides with the reign of Somdet Phra Mahathamaraja. King Hong Sawadi Nantabureng has moved the troops to attack Ayutthaya by setting up camp in every direction. His own camp was located at Kanon Pak Pu, on the Thung Phu Khao Thong field. King Naresuan, who at that time held the rank of Ayutthaya Viceroy, decided to cut off the power of the main army by leading soldiers to rob the outposts of Hongsawadi until the enemy was defeated and retreated. He chased after the enemy to reach the main army camp of King Hongsawadi. Then he led the soldiers to climb the stairs up the wall of the camp with his sword, Prasang Dab, in his mouth, but was stabbed by the Burmese soldiers several times with spears. When he considered his military strength was less than the enemy, probably defeated, so he returned to the capital. Therefore, the sword that he held has been called Prasang Dab Kap Khai. The battle of King Naresuan that time made the Hongsawadi army very afraid. King Nantapureng decided that King Naresuan had to be captured, so he ordered Lakwai Thamu, a skilled warlord, to select skilled soldiers to arrest King Naresuan. Lakwai Thamu sent a group of cavalry to lure King Naresuan's army. Without being careful, King Naresuan led his troops to pursue them so quickly that his troops could not catch up with him, causing him to fall in the midst of Lakwai Thamu's thousands of soldiers. King Naresuan fought bravely and killed a large number of Lakwai's cavalry. So Lakwai Thamu galloped in to arrest him, but King Naresuan stabbed back with a spear, caused Lakwai Thamu to die there. When his troops caught up, they broke through and led King Naresuan out of the siege and returned to the capital successfully. Heroism this time occurred in Thung Phu Khao field. Today, Thung Phu Khao field locates on an area of 1,075 rai, which is the location of the monument of King Naresuan the Great. It is an area for activities and landscaping around the royal monument, to be a recreational park for the public. Most importantly, it is also an agricultural water storage area for farmers as well. By order of Her Majesty the Queen, in the reign of King Rama IX to the Deputy Secretary General of the Royal Palace, Mr. Chirayu Isarangkun na Ayutthaya, and the governor of Pratnakhonsi, Ayutthaya at the time, it should be considered for the construction of the monument of King Naresuan the Great at Thung Phu Khao field. After the queen had privately came to perform a ceremony to worship the spirit of Somdet Phra Suriyothai at the construction site of Somdet Phra Suriyothai monument at Thung Makham Yong, she ordered the Deputy Secretary General of the Royal Palace and the governor of Pratnakhonsi, Ayutthaya province at the time, that it should be considered for the construction of a monument of King Naresuan the Great at Thung Phu Khao Thong, which had historically important areas and continual area with Thung Makham Yong, the area where the monument of Somdet Phra Suriyothai has been built. The Ministry of Interior, therefore, had a meeting of relevant officials to prepare a project to build a monument of King Naresuan the Great for the cabinet at the time to consider and approve. In principle, the Ministry of Interior to be responsible for the construction of a monument of King Naresuan the Great at the Thung Phu Khao Thong area, Pratnakhonsi Ayutthaya district. Pratnakhonsi Ayutthaya province, in the budget limit of 657 million baht, using the construction budget of the Office of the Royal Development Projects Board, or ORDPB, which the Cabinet passed a resolution on 23 May 2538 BE, agreed in principle, as proposed by the Ministry of Interior. The Ministry of Interior was required to prepare details of the project and budget expenditures for submission to ORDPB, and the budget bureau for consideration. In this regard, ORDPB notified Her Majesty the Queen to know and request royal initiatives in this matter. The objectives of the project are: 1. To honor and be a memorial to King Naresuan the Great. 2. To celebrate the Royal Jubilee Ceremony and the 50th anniversary celebration of His Majesty the King's accession to the throne in 2539 BE. 3. To conserve historical areas and ancient sites. And 4. To be a tourist point of Pratnakhonsi Ayutthaya province. The project was designated as a monument to collect the heroic deeds of King Naresuan the Great, surrounded by green areas, which is both a public park for residents of Pratnakhonsi Ayutthaya and nearby provinces, and is a large Monkey Cheeks reservoir to support water when flooding season, and reserve water for use in agricultural and consumption according to the Royal Initiative Project. The Royal Monument of King Naresuan the Great at this Thung Phu Khao field is a royal monument on a horse holding the spear. Enshrined on a plinth and a white stone courtyard, the statue is 3 times the size of the real one. Recreate the events of the horse riding to kill Lakwai Thammu, first warlord of King Hong Sawadi Nantaburing. The stairwell is made of marble and granite. There are many roosters or gamecocks that people bring to worship him. Most of them are white-tailed yellow chicken, which is a gamecock that he used to fight with the chickens of Mangkaya Shawa, son of King Hong Sawadi Nantaburing, when he was in the Hong Sawadi during the reign of King Bureng Nong. Around the base are engraved reliefs, describe the royal history and important heroic deeds. In addition, the 4 directions surrounding the royal monument also showing the symbols in the great heroism of King Naresuan the Great, namely พระแสงดาบคาบค่าย พระแสงดาบคาบค่าย is a symbol of the sword that King Naresuan the Great held in his mouth when climbing to rob the main camp of King Hong Sawadi Nantaburing. At the time, he was not afraid of any danger, even being stabbed by the enemy several times with spears, until he considered his military strength was less than the army, and it might be defeated, so he returned to the capital. Pasang Punton Kamanam Satong is a symbol for the gun used in the event when King Nantaburing of Burma knew that King Naresuan declared independence at Mueang Krang, refusing to succumb to Hong Sawadi. Therefore, he let Surakama be the front commander and Prat Maha Uparat to be the main army commander following King Naresuan. The vanguard arrived at the Satong River when King Naresuan came across, therefore ceased firing at the waterfront. But the Satong River was a vast river that soldiers' guns' power could not hit the shore with both sides. But King Naresuan was able to shoot his gun that killed Surakama, Hong Sangwari's vanguard, dead on the elephant's neck. The supreme troopers were horrified when they saw this. They gave up the army and went back. พระแสงของง้าวเจ้าพระยาแสนพลพ่าย is a symbol of the halberd in the battle at Nong Sarai, which King Naresuan the Great used to do elephant duel triumph over the viceroy of the city of Hong Sawari, causing the Hong Sawari army to retreat. Therefore he named this halberd พระแสงของง้าวเจ้าพระยาแสนพลพ่าย. พระมาลาเบี่ยง Phra Mala Biang is a symbol representing the deflected hat that King Naresuan the Great performed elephant duel with Phra Maha Uparat. Of Hong Sawari, when Phra Maha Uparat had rammed an elephant into King Naresuan's elephant until it lost its footing. Phra Maha Uparat slashed with his halberd, but King Naresuan dodged. Therefore, Phra Maha Uparat could only cut the wings of the hat. This hat was later called Phra Mala Biang. Thai people are very grateful to His Majesty the King, who has restored the independence of the Thai people to live in peace and happiness until today. Therefore, many people come to pay their respects to King Naresuan the Great at this Thung Phu Khao field, along with offering sacrifices, both replica swords and gamecock statues as symbols of appreciation of King Naresuan the Great's kindness. Pratnakhon-si Ayutthaya Provincial Administrative Organization therefore maintains and organizes various offerings that the general public has brought to the beautiful in honor of King Naresuan the Great, as well as provide various offerings, services to people who come to offer worship easily. At present, Pratnakhon-si Ayutthaya Provincial Administrative Organization is responsible for maintaining and allocating a budget to improve the site and decorate the landscape, both in the part of King Naresuan the Great's monument and the part that is the park and the reservoir, to comply with the order of Her Majesty the Queen in the reign of King Rama IX. The way of life in the past filled with precious memories, which is evident through the two important fields in this Pratnakhon-si Ayutthaya province, has been updated over time to be perfectly matched with the present and the future, without leaving the past to be forgotten, and can also use these valuable places to benefit the people at present. This place will be recorded in the memory of the people of Ayutthaya and Thailand forever.